I'm convinced that your body knows how you're wired to make money. I think every one of us is supposed to create an expression in business or entrepreneurship as unique as the prints on our fingers. This idea that there is a one way, a one model, and offer the best thing of this year, I don't think that exists. I don't even think that exists for like big pockets of people. I think for all of us, there is a sense of creative expression to be found within business because a business is supposed to be a reflection of us. And because we're unique, our business expression should be unique. But that then leads to this really challenging place of, well, how the hell do we make money? Like if no one knows what else I'm supposed to be doing, if there is no one model, then how do I find that one model for me? And this is where I'm convinced that your body is the best business coach you could ever hope for. We've all heard these like sayings like trust your instincts. What's your gut feeling on this? I don't think we use that language by mistake. I think our body is always sending us signals. The problem is when we think about the next level for us, right? More leads, more alignment with our offer, more customers, more clients, more money, blah, blah, blah. Our brain is searching for the formula, the tactic, the strategy, the blueprint. What we're looking for is the 10-step process. Oh, if you do this, then this is going to happen, and then this is going to happen. It's going to be amazing. The thing I have learned from business, from life, is that not only do true messages never come in those formats, right? Oh, just go do this, 100% certainty, this is the way it's going to look. It never happens like that. But the second thing is your body doesn't speak in information, it speaks in feelings, it speaks in emotions. And so when I think of the momentum that I've really experienced in different seasons of entrepreneurship, so when I started listening to these signals that my body was sending me, and I stopped resisting and fighting my body every step of the way. Let me get pragmatic so that you don't think this is like some woo-woo esoteric, like, I don't even know where to go with that sentence, but just hang with me for a second. So back in 2020, I had been running an agency for a couple of years. It had become pretty successful, got $2 million, blah, blah, blah. And I launched a coaching program. And I took that coaching program, I think it was in June or July of 2020. I grew that from zero to hitting a $347,000 cash month 16 months later, which, is pretty freaking cool. Went from, I think it was like a team of 2 or 3 at the time, to like a team of 13. Now, there were all of these parts I already knew weren't fitting me as it was happening, but it really became confusing for me because I got rewarded really publicly for this type of business. That year I worked one-to-one with Alex Hormozy. I got featured in Sam Ovens' webinar. These things might not be big deals to you, by the way, but they were like big deals to me at the time. I was getting awards. I was getting like a lot of high fives and pats on the back because I was making a bunch of money and I was crushing it and, kind of seemingly out of nowhere. But all the way through that, I felt like I had to arm wrestle my soul into submission. Right? That there was this feeling of having to fight my body every step of the way. When I got started in business in 2018, I literally wrote down, I was just like, I just want to create content and coach people. And somewhere along the way, I convinced myself that chasing money was the most important metric, and whatever made the numbers go up was the right thing to do. And so that's what I did. I built the team and I, built a sales force and all of this stuff that I knew was not for me. And yet it was the thing that was leading towards growth and recognition, right? Revenue and recognition. Well, that year in which all this growth was taking place, I became a borderline alcoholic. And I say borderline because I Googled rehab, but I didn't go because I was like, I think I can get away with. Anyway, there was a whole story there. I was in a pretty messed up situation. I weighed like 20 kilos, 40 something pounds more than I weigh now. Like I was clinically obese. I had 6 ear infections that year. My sleep was horrendous. And I want you to picture this for a second. Everything about the outside looked awesome to other people. I bought a house. I had a nice car. But every step of the way, the experience of being me, building this business, felt like I was ignoring every signal my body was sending me. Our body can send signals in the form of sickness, right? If you've been in business for any amount of time, there may have been a season where you keep getting hit with mystery illness after mystery illness. You cannot convince me that just a cold was going around. For most people, you look at it and their sicknesses coincide with something that they don't want to do, like a misalignment. Like I have a good friend, every time he's gone to record something for a specific part of his business, he gets really sick. And every time he talks about that area of his business, he talks about it with disdain and hate because he doesn't want to serve that group of people. He doesn't want to do that. And yet he's forcing himself to. And so every time he forces himself to, the body pushes back. And so there are really strong signals that our body actually shows up and goes, no, not this path, don't do this. And yet, if you're strong-willed enough, like most of us, you can ignore that and keep pushing through. Then there are more subtle signals where your body is trying to show you the things that feel good. If you've had those moments in business where there's just a flow, where there's just a sense that you could do this forever, that you would do this for free. Alignment, misalignment, momentum, stagnation, they all have like a signature that you feel in your body. When you are looking to get to that next level, if you listen closely enough, your body is moving you away from misalignment towards alignment, away from this might work for someone else towards this is what works for you. And this sounds like a really funny thing to make a video about, a really funny thing for me to talk about today, but I'm telling you, when I reflect on all the lessons that I've learned from my own journey, when I think about the extremely high-level people that I've had the chance to work with, there is this thread and this theme, which is if you were to just listen to the signals that your body was sending you, you'd probably already know the exact next thing you're supposed to do. You might not know how it's going to work out. It might not be a 10-step plan that on the other end of it looks like a pot of gold with a leprechaun and a rainbow, but there's a sense of clarity. Dude, this thing I'm doing, this client I'm working with, the way in which I'm marketing, the thing that I'm selling, it feels heavy, it feels horrible, it feels horrendous. I don't have the answer. I don't know the alternative. All I know is less of that. And then when you audit your life and you start to look at the moments where things have felt light and energizing and exciting, there is this evidence staring you in the face that's trying to direct you towards, hey, more of this, try this out. What if you experimented here? I'm not convinced any one of us needs a business coach. I think we all need support. I think there is something so powerful about another human being looking you in the eye and telling you can do it. Like that kind of stuff, I think our soul needs that sometimes. But I am retired from the advice giving game. I've been paid millions to tell other people what to do with their life. And on the other side of that, I'm just convinced I don't know what anyone should do with their life ever. I don't think any of you know what I should do with my life. All we have is perspective. But the thing that's closest to us, our body, it knows. There is something about its instincts, its nature that is trying to draw us towards the path that is meant for us. And all of us would probably benefit if we spent less time listening to everyone else's voices and more time tuning into the signals our body is sending us. Because it's in that all of a sudden the confusion dissipates and the next steps become way clearer. At least that's what I've learned myself. I don't know if this is helpful, but this is for sure a note to myself that I wanted to share with you too.